Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome three great panelists for our discussion on the next steps in circularity for KP24 Flash. We have a good 20 minutes to talk about different things, and mainly, of course, we're focusing on circularity, touching maybe some other things as well. First of all, I'd like to introduce the panelists I have around today, which are all over the world. I start with Hassan. He works for Navina Denim Mills, and he lives and stays in Karachi these days, and most of the time right now. Then I have Carl from AGIA Denim. He's based in San Francisco, but AGIA is in Pakistan, so he's mainly not traveling right now, but back and forth on Zoom with his colleagues. And we have Elisabeth, working for a denim clothing company. She's the head of R&D. And she sits in Portugal right now. I don't know exactly which city. Maybe you can just tell us, Elisabeth, because I would also like to start to talk to you and start the conversation, talking about circularity.
Hi, Sabine. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you and to talk to you. It's a pleasure to be in this panel to discuss such an amazing subject. Actually, I'm based in Guimarães. It's in north of Portugal. It's an industrial area, super nice, with a very nice historical area.
Perfect.
And
so we start with you because the ladies first. You know, I introduced the guys first, and now I start the conversation with you as a lady first.
Thank you so much.
So since we only have this limited time, as we know, and we want to talk about really like super important things here, I would not like to talk too much about the past and the status quo, but maybe talk really a bit about more the future, because as we know, the discussion, the panel topic is called Next Steps. So if we talk about denim clothing company, and you're the head of R&D, so you're really on top of everything there. And when it comes to circularity, what are the next steps? Because we know you have implemented many things, as the others do as well, for water, water consumption, saving water, working with waste, pre-consumer waste, post-consumer waste, whatever you can imagine, special fiber, special chemicals. But still, you have this certain status quo, but where are you heading with your company when it comes to circularity?
Actually, if we talk on a specific subject, such as investments in technology, our next step will be investment in a solar panel facilities to be able to use this solar panel, and also to reduce even more the water use, the water consumption. At this moment, we are in 50%, and we hope to achieve the 70% in the next years. In the next 5 years, we expected to surpass the benchmark of the industry in all this sustainability and the circularity industry. So our goal is to be 100% circular. We hope so in 10 years. We hope we can achieve this mark. Of course, with many investments in machinery, technology, we keep going in this way, and especially building up teams inside the company to make sure that we can achieve all these goals we are planning for the next years.
You say in 10 years, sorry to interrupt, when you say in 10 years, this includes like water, chemicals, like everything that's really under the roof of circularity. It's not just the water, right? It's everything.
Not just the water, the energy, for sure, water, energy, and waste. Actually, I believe the last year we were most focused on energy and waste, because the waste was not to talk too much. In denim industry, water always have been an issue. Right. Water and chemicals on the water and the use of water, and we truly believe that this part of the challenge, we are working very seriously on that, and we are having very nice results. But now I believe the waste of the industry, it's one of the most the most big project we have in our hands now, and to make it truly circular in the future. So to be able to use the waste and to reuse and to make it totally circular in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, Carl, you've been with AGI since last summer. So pretty new on board, may we say that. But of course, you've been within the ministry for a long time. So could you tell us what's the goal with AGI? Do you also have like a time frame, like the next 10 years is going to be like the goal to become 100% circular, or what's the take on that?
It's interesting because what does 100% circular really mean, I guess, is one question that I kind of have, because I understand, so that would be one question, like what is really the standard? And I don't know that there really is a true standard for that, at least as far as I know. But what I do know is that at AGI we're investing heavily in sort of circular concepts. We're building a new spinning mill that's really engineered and designed. We're hoping we're going to be LEED Gold certified on that, and it sounds like we might even kind of come in a little bit higher than gold. We're also building a new denim mill and a shredding facility all this year. So huge investments in these new operations that are really geared towards circularity, recycling, and then also sort of stacking the deck so that we're sort of self-sufficient and fully integrated, so that we have total control over those things. So we're going from the fiber to the yarn to the weaving, and then we can manage that in a really circular, sustainable way. And that does include solar panels. We also have an incredible water recycling program, and we have we're recycling, I think, around 60% of our water now, and we hope to be freshwater neutral in 2025.
So you do work with some KPIs, basically. Would you say you do recycle 60% of water right now? So could this be, if 100% is possible, this is also a question we have to ask ourselves, of course. So this is actually what I was thinking about. Is there like, where you say in 10 years, we could like recycle 100% of water, we could like recycle all of our chemicals. So do you work with those KPIs as well? Or where do you set the standard? Because you talked about, it's difficult to have a standard.
Yeah, so that's a good question. That's a really good question, because basically what we're doing, I think, is because there doesn't seem to be like a true standard, at least as far as we know. I think the family is totally invested and has the values of sustainability and circularity, and so we're just investing on it. We're problem solving on ourselves, and we're trying to kind of control what we can control. So we're looking at reduced carbon emissions. We're sourcing most of our cotton from within 300 miles of our facilities, and we hope to continually increase that. We have a huge water recycling program, and we're hoping to get freshwater neutral by 2025. Building LEED Gold certified factories, spinning mills, shredding facilities, and investing in sort of new technology that way. So, and then beyond that, we've reduced our PP spray. We're using robotics. We're doing laser, and then we have a lot of our chemicals on a closed loop. So things like mercerization, flat finish, all of those chemicals are in a completely closed loop system. So there is no waste there. So that's, despite not having like a true set of standards, maybe, I think the value system of the family and of the company, and then also the R&D and the product development teams that are constantly working on sustainability and circularity initiatives, and then with the intent of design and kind of also peeling back and looking at everything from a design perspective and starting there, because I think one reason that I was really excited to be working on the mill side, because I've been on the brand side for so long, was that it's where everything starts. And so you have this incredible power to kind of reset the rules from the starting place that then can inform every step of the way going forward. And so that's I think how we're looking at circularity and sustainability. But we do have goals, and we are investing, pretty heavily in those goals. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Hassan, maybe you also want to explain to us your goals when it comes to circularity at Navina. What are you working on currently, and when do you think this will be like reality?
Yes, Sabine, thank you very much. I've listened both the panelists, and I'm happy to know that everybody is doing whatever best they can do. Started this journey 2-3 years back, and we are a fabric mill as well as a spinning company. So from the fiber side, we have already putting all the PCW and PIW, industrial waste and the waste we are getting from our spinning mills, not affecting the final product. But the next step, what I'm going to do is to collaborate with the other garment units, which are very close to our spinning mills, and to bring their waste into our shedding unit and to use that fiber also for our yarn to produce. So on our part, let's say whatever we are doing today is that we are using our own waste today. And we are also importing used garment from the channels and using them in PCW yarn. But my future plan to collaborate with other garment waste in my unit and to use that also for my PCW line. The next step from on the energy side, of course, we are doing, in that case, from the energy side, our basic goal is to, first of all, to bring a lot of transparency for measurement of energy reduction. We are closely working on transparency because everybody is coming and saying that we are reducing energy. So what is the benchmark, and where do we stand? So what I'm working on is to make a transparent system, which we already made. We have got all monitoring system where we can literally bring anyone in and we can show that how we have reduced this thing, and this is happening live. So transparency for me is very, very important.
I think you mentioned a good thing. Sorry, because you just mentioned the benchmark, which is basically a certain standard. Who sets this benchmark, or what is your benchmark? Do you define this, or are you in exchanging with other mills or with the other NGOs? Or how do you set this up?
Here I want to explain you that currently we are using benchmarking ourselves. First of all, let's say in 2 years back, we were spending X amount of energy, and then last year we reduced like 10%, and next year we reduced 4% more. Unfortunately, there is no internationally platform is available where you can benchmark yourself. The industry don't share this data very openly with each other. And that is why we can't check ourselves within ourselves that how good we are performing.
Sorry, please finish.
Yeah, to me, whenever, look, we have to all grow together. So for me, is to open up, bring transparency, bring your data on table, discuss with each other, and make a platform, joint platform, where I can learn from other industry, and maybe something I'm doing good, which I can, explain to others. So we can all grow together.
Elisabetta, what's your take then on this one? Would you say this is possible to set own benchmarks? Do you have your own benchmarks? Are you also open to share and exchange about those benchmarks with other companies? How does it work at your company?
Yeah, for sure. We don't care about. I'm sure that if at this moment, honestly, we don't have any partnership in this kind of way, as Mrs. Hassan was talking about. I truly believe that it's a super nice way of working on this, because this is a problem for everyone, and for everyone as human beings, and then as industry, because denim is a very polluted industry and we have to work on that all together. So honestly, I truly believe that this partnership with all the industry all together will be good for everyone. At this moment, our benchmark are internal benchmark with our team and our sustainable team, where we are today and where we want to be in 5 to 10 years. This is our own goals, but for sure we would like to to be able to make this kind of partnership in the future.
How could we start this partnership then, Carl? Because it's interesting, you're coming also from the brand side. You've been working for Levi's quite some time, as far as I know. You had your own retail chain, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you start this partnership? We're talking about this for so many years now, that sustainability also needs people to be very transparent, exchange their experience and so on and so forth. But actually it's not really happening. So how can we force people to do so? Does it need the government maybe, or some law, or what's your opinion?
Yeah, I do feel like it's bigger than any one of us, right? Like, I think that there has to be sort of a global standard and a global way to address this global issue, right? And I think that we can all do our part in many different ways. But I do think that there has to be kind of a global approach, and I do think that there is, talking about transparency, it's like, at Levi's, when we did waterless, so I worked on the waterless project with Levi's, and we made that innovation open source because it was the right thing to do. So we didn't, it wasn't a secret. We didn't hide our formulas. We shared that with the industry so that, other companies could take advantage of that capability and reduce water. And I think that, this is kind of a similar thing. It's like, without any kind of global, governmental standard or benchmark or I do think that transparency and sharing the way that we're solving these problems so that we're solving these problems on bigger scales across the industry is probably what we need. That would be, I think, how I would approach it, is just sheer transparency and sharing information.
So what could the authority be to implement this? Could this be like, I don't know, the UN? Of course, they don't have a final saying and everything, but could it be Mr. Biden, Mr. Putin, like all the European Union, the Pakistani government, Hassan, I don't know. How do you think, what could the authority be to set up a certain standard that's then the same for everybody around the world?
Yes, Sabine, this is a very, very valid question. Before I answer your question, let me explain you a little bit more about technology today, because circularity needs technology as well. So let's say today, the technology offered by some of the machine manufacturer like ozone finishes, laser finishes, and we all have to adopt step by step all these technologies. And using solar energy, recycling of water. Let's say in Nabina, we are going to recycle 80% of our water in next one and a half year. And also the rest of water we will put into landfill, And also we are working on a project where I wanted to burn my sludge, which is coming out of my ETP, into my boilers, to bring heat energy out of it. So these kind of technological answers we are looking for. To answer your questions, I think the platform could be like, we have gone through, there can be a country, land of law, law of land can help out, or a global community can be developed, because transparency and industrial 4.0 is the biggest answer. Because if we qualify industrial 4.0 revolution and try to meet their standards, it could help us to benchmark ourselves with other industries, as well as it will bring a lot of experience sharing between each others. Because by going towards a same goal in different ways, can help each other out. So it could be a global industrial 4.0 revolution. It could be Kingpins management developing a data based system where everybody
to do that. I'm sure they're working on this already.
Yeah, because I heard that thing that Mr. Ola is already thinking about this. So any third party who can justify the results, and as well as can verify the results, and it can be shared with others with certain confidential code. We don't need to take a name of any company. It can be mill X, mill Y, is better than you in water consumption. Mill A is better than anyone in chemical consumptions. So we can all learn from each other. So it can be you, and other than anyone else.
I will do my best. And time has by so quickly. Actually, we already hit our 20-minute slot. And so the question would be, because we have to end the live stream now, if you would like to continue, so we can also talk a bit more about circularity. Otherwise, I would like to say goodbye to everybody already after 20 minutes. There was a great talk, great conversation. And I think we're on it. You guys are on it. And the next steps in circularity are definitely taken. I can hear this very loudly and clearly from what you just expressed. Thanks so much so far. And yeah, for more, you can stay online. Is 100% circularity in every area, in every field, is that actually possible? From like thinking today, of course, I don't know what happens in 10 years. We didn't even see Corona coming. But from today on, would you say, yeah, it is possible? Could we reach 100% where we do not need any new resources to be used? Any one of you, Hassan, you're on now. You can start if you want to.
I can just say from what we have been doing until today, and what's our plan. We are
should
working
I answer
on
this?
it. So actually, we have the plan. We are working on it, but it's all about technology, new investments, and we truly believe we are on the way. But we cannot guarantee. I cannot guarantee today that it will be workable. We are working on it every day. And we truly believe that we can achieve maybe not 100%, but 80%. But we don't have any, I cannot guarantee you today that we will be able to make it for sure. We don't have, we are working in a daily basis in all the information, all the technology. We are placing our goals and making our goals, but I cannot guarantee today, honestly.
Hassan, coming back to you.
Yeah, there are 2-3 factors to answer your question. If we are talking about basic fabrics, the circularity percentage can be high. If you talk about fabric with performance, with fashion, the circularity percentage will go down. Yeah. Because you need to add man-made fibers to get the performance out. And those, those man-made fibers are not 100% circular as cotton today or hemp today. But we are thankful that a lot of good opportunities like Unified and Reprieve and Nenze are providing you some of the very good fiber which are sustainable. But my take is that the performance fabrics will have less circularity than a conventional fabrics, the basic fabrics, because you can recycle most of the part. On the energy side and on the individual companies are doing this. Manufacturers or machine manufacturers, chemical companies and fiber companies are helping all of us. But there are certain things which governments has to do now. They should give a lot of subsidy to companies who are circular in nature. They should give some kind of tax release, some kind of space where you can have tax holiday and you can get less rates on the machine to buy for circularity reasons or sustainable reasons. So these can motivate us, being an industry part, to invest more in circularity, because sustainability for us is very, very important. And down the line, 3 years back, I think, or 5 years back, no brand was concerned about the infrastructure the company has. But today, this any brand, they care for fabrics, they care for fashion, as well as they care for the company from where this fabric is coming from, and what this company is capable of, and how much sustainable principle they are following, what infrastructure they have, what kind of transparency they offer. So this is going in right direction, I must say.
Carl, for the 100% circularity, are you optimistic about this, or would you also say from today's point of view, it's difficult to say how much we can ever reach?
It's like, I think we can get there, but I think there's an economic thing that we have to figure out. Like, it has to be, you have to figure out the cost of it. Like, if, and because it's incredibly expensive, right? There's a huge amount of investment. And then also, if you're really thinking about recycling, it's like, as one aspect of it, it's like, where are you getting the garments? Where are they coming from? Are you shipping them all over the world so that you can then recycle them and only ship them back out again? Because is that circular? I don't think it is. So I think that there's, some big problems like that need to really be solved. And I think it's beyond any mill potentially. I think it's, and that, I think, would get us to, being able, we can achieve 100% circularity. But I think that there are those sort of problems that need to be sorted out at a bigger level. And so I think that's why, what we're doing in the meantime, liquid indigo, recycle, we have recycled concepts, 100% recycled concepts of fabrics. It's like, and I think that gets us close to that goal, and it gets us set up to reach that 100% sustainability goal when we can figure out sort of the costing aspect of it, so that we don't, so that you can still produce fabrics that people can afford to buy.
Since you've been working, sorry, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Since you've been working with Levi's for a while, do you think that the pressure that the brands could take more pressure on the mills, on the manufacturing side? Do you think that would make sense?
Absolutely.
Or does this already happen, like from your point of view or from your experience?
I think it's a little bit of a two-way thing. I think that absolutely brands are looking for sustainable stories. They're looking for circularity. Like, they want, if they don't want it sincerely because it's the right thing to do, I think they want it as a marketing thing, right? So they want to be able to tell their customers, and they want to be able to tell their shareholders they're doing the right thing. But I also think that it's incredibly important for the mills to have that product ready to go to inspire the brands to buy into it and share the story. So I think it's definitely a two-way thing, but I do know that brands are definitely asking, like, especially since the pandemic, brands are really like, they want sustainable messages and circularity ideas. And I think, and luckily, we're ahead of the game, and we're able to provide that to them, and then have new ideas constantly coming through the pike to serve them. So I think it's a two-way street. I think brands are pressuring the mills, and I think the mills should be pressuring the brands to do the same thing.
Actually, what I would also be really interested in, if we go to the very beginning of the whole supply chain, speaking about cotton, and then you guys are also implementing or working with hemp, as do the others I know. Can we really discuss circularity when we still work with so much cotton? I think 1% in the world is organic cotton, which is basically nothing, speaking of today. So like a crop that needs so much water, and it's really also difficult to recycle, needs still so many chemicals. Should we not start with the cotton problem, I call it, look for other fibers, or look for other ways how to grow cotton? Carl, maybe you would want to start and answer that one.
Yeah, that's, that's a tough one for sure. Cotton, there's a lot of chemicals, a lot of water. I know that there's a lot of advancements in that as well that are making it a little bit more sustainable. We are part of what we're doing with our new spinning mill that'll be complete this year, is it's really geared towards recycling cotton, and we'll be able to break down the cotton. We'll be able to increase the strength, because if you're getting, what we find is that if you're buying like the cotton fiber and the yarns from another mill, it may not, they're using shorter fibers. They may not be spinning it in a way so that you lose strength. We think we're going to be able to control that in a much better way, so that we'll be able to use to increase our recycled cotton, and then also make it stronger so that it lasts longer, because we'll have total control over it. And we're building an entire spinning mill that's with a circularity mindset, so that we can achieve that. So hopefully we'll be using less virgin cotton, and we'll be using more recycled cotton. So that's I think one way to address it. And then I also think that there's something about, if you're sourcing your cotton locally, hopefully you care about the community and you care about, you know, where you're getting it from, and you're influencing the cotton growers to grow it in a more sustainable way because it's in your backyard. And so I think that that's another important piece of it. You know, if you're confronting it in your region, hopefully you're doing the right thing and making it better for your community.
Elisabetta, at DCC, how do you tackle the cotton problem, or how much of your cotton is already like recycled material that you work with?
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, Sabine, I cannot answer to you exactly properly on this question. Actually, we are reusing a lot of cotton. The PCW, we have the recycling facilities for PCW, PYW, and we also we are. I'm so sorry. I cannot answer you specifically. This is a very specific technical question. I will not be able to answer to this.
But the general obstacle, of course, I mean, I'm sure you discuss this at your company as well, you know, that cotton is very water intensive, it's chemical intensive. So definitely also looking for ways to replace virgin cotton.
Yes, for sure. We discuss with our supplier, even in our own fabric mill. We also are working very strongly on that. But this is more on the fabric side, you know, I'm more on the garment side, and more on yeah, that's why I cannot give you the proper technical answer to this question. I'm really sorry.
So you're working also with, like, for your garments, you have like hemp qualities, you work with other fibers there as well, or
yes, for sure. We all cellulose-based fibers we are working with. Cotton is still the main fabric we are using, and in all these different versions, I mean, with organic, recycle, and as I said previously, and the PCW, PYW. But we also are using hemp, lioncell, viscose. We add on our compositions, but actually the customers still going on the cotton fabric. We try to make we have some articles we are using, but finally the cotton still the same, the favorite one, and we are using at this moment. So we hope in the future we can increase this the percentage of other fibers in our garments.
Right. Hassan, what's it like at Navina? Do you already work with other qualities? Do you use hemp, for example, as the others do, or is it mainly cotton? Well, for sure it's mainly cotton, but what other opportunities do you see?
Okay, Sabine, we've been a spinner also from last 1.5 decade, you know, and specialized spinning to complement our denim units, you know. So we've been using 15% of cotton in our products and 15% of recycled cotton in most of our product line. And I told you that as well. And we are also, you know, we develop a special department where we are experimenting every day to increase that recycle, you know. But that recycle, I tell you, the practical problem is that out of 100 kg, up till now, 60% of the fiber can be recycled. 40% still will go in waste. This is my practical example I'm telling you. The next thing is that, yes, we are working on hemp. I'm also a part of of a group of people who are developing hemp cultivation in Pakistan. So we have approved a government project where we are developing a hemp seed which can be grown in Pakistan. Navina is ahead of in these things because we have already made fabrics which are more than 50% hemp content, because we see hemp as the second most promising fiber which can or which will be close to cotton, you know, and the water consumption in growing hemp is less than 50% of what we have today, cotton. So on one side, you can recycle almost 60% of the cotton, and for adding new thing, you can use hemp, 40% of hemp, to bring it more sustainable. And we have achieved a fabric in which we are using more than 40% of hemp. And hemp is the, as of today, I don't know what happened
Of
in
course,
the
nobody
next 5
knows.
years
I
to
know.
come.
I know.
But hemp is the most promising fiber up till now. And we've been successful in running hemp at a high percentage because that requires a lot of experience, and that requires a lot of R&D to bring hemp blend with cotton, not affecting the quality of the final fabrics and the demand of the customer. So yes, we are running a successful hemp project, and we are also running a successful recycle project, as well as we are importing garment. But we see that not more than 60% of the garments can be converted into new jeans.
All right. Perfect. So the cotton was my last concern. So I ask you this question as well. Thanks so much, because we almost hit like more than half an hour of talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I did a lot, and it's always so interesting to talk to everybody. I hope one day in person again, that we really have like physical shows, or we can travel again. Fingers crossed. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it as well. I thought. And well, I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's broadcasted, which day exactly, but I'm sure we'll find out soon, and Joanne will tell me. So then we can all revisit. And yeah, hope to see you soon in person again.
So thank you very much,
Okay,
Carl.
thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth and
Thank you.
and Sabine.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Hassan. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for everyone.
Nice to
Bye.
meet you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.